here is what's happened since August 10th, 2020, when we adopted Bitcoin as a Treasury Reserve asset. Bitcoin is up 65%. MicroStrategy stock and MicroStrategy's bought almost $4 billion, not quite, but nearly $4 billion of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy stock is up 66%. So we are tracking slightly ahead of Bitcoin. The S&P is up 14%. The NASDAQ is up 4%. Whoa, 4%. All of big tech is up 4%. Gold is down 18%. And, bonds, the ultra safe bonds, long-term bonds, down 18%. Oof. So in terms of asset classes, the crazy volatile Bitcoin is the best performing of all those major assets. And then you can say to yourself, well, I'm just going to invest in stocks. Okay, let's look at big tech. Google's up 37%, Apple's up 32%, Microsoft's up 16%, Amazon is down 22%, Facebook is down 45%, and Netflix is down 52%. Okay, little MicroStrategy, no one ever heard of, up 66%. Would you have guessed that a mid-sized software company, low growth, mid-sized software company nobody ever heard of, would outperform Google in the last 2 years by a factor of 2? And so last point I make, we compete against companies 100 times as big as us. Oracle, 100 times bigger than us. They're up 25%, IBM's up 3%, Salesforce is down 23%, SAP's down 47%. Okay, so what is the lesson of that? The lesson is we're in the middle of chaos. There is no place to hide. Your choice is you could buy gold, but gold is dead metal and it's just getting ground into the dirt, right? I can seize your gold. Gold is the half-life of money, and gold is 35 years. And you can't put gold on 8 billion iPhones. So the problem is there's no tech in gold, and it was a good idea in the 19th century, and it's centralized. Governments can seize it, and the gold miners keep debasing it. They keep mining more gold, right? In the best year, you get 2% more. In the worst year, someone seizes a bunch of gold, dump it on the market, you get more than 2%. So people are looking for a safe haven. What's it going to be? Property in Africa? Property in Venezuela? You can't have property in North Korea. Property in Argentina? A business? A business where? A business in Argentina where the currency collapses? What good are your cash flows if the currency that you generate the cash flows are collapses in value? So I think here's the big idea, really big idea. Everybody in the world has to decide where they're going to locate their family. They have to physically, they have to decide where they're going to locate their themselves in cyberspace, their mind. Are you going to watch Facebook all day long? Are you going to read Twitter? Are you going to be on YouTube? You're going to go to Rumble? Are you going to look at Instagram? Right? Where is your mind? Right? And then the third question is, where is your business? Are you going to run a yoga studio in Miami? How about a yoga studio in New York? How about, are you going to run a farm in Zimbabwe, a ranch in Argentina? Are you going to buy a company that has business interest in China? How about owning a bunch of businesses in Ukraine or Russia? Right. So where is your P&L? Right. And the fourth big idea is, where is your balance sheet? Okay, you're a podcaster on YouTube. Okay, well, you better make sure that you comply with YouTube platform requirements. Otherwise, they turn off your podcast and they crimp your business. That's where you generate your revenue and you generate your cost. But now, where are you going to save your money? Are you going to save it in U.S. sovereign debt? Are you going to actually store it in gold? Are you going to buy land? Where? In California, in Ukraine, in Russia? Where? In Florida, right? Are you going to buy S&P index stocks? Are you going to buy Bitcoin? Are you going to buy art? So there were conventional answers to all these questions, Brian, and they kind of worked for, there was an answer to this question before 1914. There was an answer to this question between Bretton Woods and 1971. there was an answer to this question from 1971 till the year 2020. In 2020, it's like, oh, the answer, 60-40 bond portfolio, buy the S&P index and like a portfolio of diversified bonds and you're good. Okay, there was an answer. The answer kind of got confusing after 2020. The answer got confusing for a lot of businesses, for a lot of people. And so highlight of the year? The highlight of the year is people were stunned from March of 2020 to March of 2021. And from March of 21 through the middle of 2022, they're all starting to get their bearings. And they're like, well, I guess, what is Bitcoin, a digital commodity? Do I have to deal with that? Well, now Fidelity's talking about rolling out the 34 million retail accounts. You've got the government embracing crypto assets, saying we better figure it out. Congress, senators getting educated on it. The CFTC, the SEC getting educated on it. Big institutional investors starting to take Bitcoin positions. The media now you've got Bloomberg covering crypto. You've got CNBC covering crypto. You've got an entire world, media analysts, politicians, financiers, and they're all starting to figure this out. But I still say we're early, right? This paradigm shift takes a decade. And maybe the first decade was the embers of a flame flickering from 2009 to 2020. And then from 2020, we started pouring gasoline on that flame, right? The gasoline in the US is we triple the inflation rate, monetary inflation. But forget about that. Maybe you're a blue blood living on the Upper East Side with a trust fund and you just don't see why you need it. The gasoline in Sri Lanka is everybody lost everything overnight. The gasoline in Lebanon is the bank freezes their doors and you lose all your money. The gasoline in Argentina is the peso goes from 20 pesos to the dollar to 280 pesos to the dollar in 4 years, right? The gasoline in Ukraine is oops, there's a war. Banks are, there's a limit to how much money you can withdraw. And the gasoline in Russia is, okay, I get, the stuff you thought you owned in Europe, you don't own that anymore. We're taking that from you, taking your gold, taking your bonds, taking your yachts, taking your villas. So there's a lot of people with a 2x4 to the head, and they're all stunned, and they're all trying to figure it out. And there's this colorful debate, a political debate, a media debate, a debate on YouTube, a debate on Twitter. What's the solution? And the only thing we can all agree on is we probably need to look at some new ideas because the old ideas just don't work anymore. And there's no intellectually honest person